So this is Adam, and this is my week 9 review. In the story, The Sculptor's Funeral, I really felt that Willa Cather, she really did a good job of describing the town from which Harvey Merrick escaped, as she tells about the sculptor's body being returned when it was going to be buried. Um, Tyler asked in her presentation the different ways that the townspeople see success and how Merrick Stevens saw success. And when the people were referring to and talking about Merrick, they described him as lazy and they didn't really seem fond of his work. There was a quote um, in the story. It said, that it's too bad the old man's sons didn't turn out better. If Harvey would have stayed at home and helped nurse what little they did have and gone into stock on the old man's bottom farm, then they might have been well fixed. They might have been better off, and that's really what they saw that he should have done. Um, Stevens, who was Merrick's assistant, believed that his mentor was a very, very successful and that he was a very, very great man. He saw his mentor a lot different than the townspeople did, and he found it really, really hard to understand how these townspeople could not, realize how great of a man this is, and that without him, it was another quote. Let me see, I wrote it. The very name of their town would have remained forever buried in the postal guide had it not been now and again mentioned in the work in connection with Harvey Merrick's. Basically he's saying Harvey Merrick put this town on the map. Nobody would have heard of this town without his work, and they just took that for granted. But these people, I guess they didn't really care about that. That's not what success for them was measured with. The author also relays the last discussion Merrick had with Stevens, and it kind of shed light on the fact that Harvey knew that the townsfolk were not fond of him, that they did not think he was worthy or successful. He said the quote, "The townspeople will come in for a look at me, and after they have had their say, I shan't have much to fear from the judgment of God." He was aware of how these townspeople felt about him, but I think he felt successful in his own right, and only God could judge him. I mean, a quote we've heard numerous times, I'm sure, throughout our lives. Tyler also asked about the important role Jim Laird plays in the story. I think he is one of the most interesting characters because he's the only person from the town that realizes that Harvey is the only success among them. He and Harvey, they both went to school in the East, but Laird says that Harvey was the only one to choose to climb. He wanted to get better. He wanted to keep going. You see that Laird, although an attorney, is ashamed of himself, and he's ashamed of how he conducts business with other people. I think he lumped himself in with the rest of the townspeople when he said the quote, "I came back here and became the damn shyster you wanted me to be. Now that we've fought and lied and sweated and stolen and hated as only the disappointment strugglers in a bitter, dead little western town know how to do, what have we got to show for it?" Laird realizes he had a chance to get out. He went to the East, and that he could have moved on. He could have reached what he thought was success, and that nobody in the town was really successful or made anything of themselves. Laird forces the townspeople to see how wrong they are, and he allows Stevens to see that at least he is aware of how truly amazing Harvey was because of where he came from and what he accomplished within himself. I don't think that in the story the author really explains what the life of the artist is, but she does do a good job expressing how people viewed artists at that time and also their role in society. During this time period, it was important for sons to farmers to stick around and help out with their father's farm and carry on that legacy of running the farm. But, with him leaving, his father had to get tenant farmers, and they stole from him. And, that people saw that as if Harvey would have been there, then that wouldn't have happened. When his father was standing over his son's body, he explains that Harvey was a gentle soul, but that nobody really understood him. I think that really this story is just how others view success, how you view success. Success is viewed in many different ways. If you're stuck in your same mannerisms, then you won't be able to truly recognize and honor success when it's right in front of you, because somebody else did it and they stepped out of the box to achieve it.